What is going on, everyone? This is JABO College Football, where we take a look at all the college ball this past weekend, even the stuff that is just a bit outside. I'm your host, Brendan Bryan. Man, week 2 was pretty crazy. This was one of the weakest weeks for ranked matchups. We only had one, which was number 15 Michigan at number 18 Oklahoma. Outside of that, a lot of cupcake games, which meant it was time for some upsets. We had 4, count them 4, top 25 teams get beat this weekend.
Anarchy! I don't even know what that means, but I love it!
Obviously, one of those losses came from the Michigan-Oklahoma game, where Michigan did not have the horsepower to keep up with the Sooners as Oklahoma won big at home. Next, we have number 12 Arizona State going down on the road to Mississippi State in the White Trash Bowl. Looked like the Bulldogs were going to blow this one late, but a miraculous final drive gave Mississippi State their first win over a Power 4 opponent since 2023. Yes, this is an SEC team. Number 17 SMU fell at home to rival Baylor. This was a great back and forth game where both teams had chances to win it, especially SMU late, but Baylor pulled off the comeback to win their 14th straight win over SMU. Finally, the biggest loss of the week proudly goes to the Florida Gators, who lose at home to USF. Many didn't see this coming, but this Bulls team did beat ranked Boise State in week 1 and has nearly upset Alabama in recent memory. It was a long time coming for this team to score a signature win while also making the Gators cry. Good job. Also, a quick note, whoever made Florida's schedule is a madman or a masochist or both, because they still have to face 8 currently ranked teams. The exception to this rule is Kentucky and Mississippi State. Ooh, the pain train is pulling into the station.
No, please. Have mercy!
We also have some notable struggle wins this past weekend. Let's start things off with Nevada, who struggled with Sacramento State for a 20-17 victory. I'm just ashamed my Troy Trojans lost to them last year. That's all I gotta say. Next, we have Appalachian State, who struggled against some retirement home golf club called Lindenwood in a 20-13 victory, if you can even call that a victory. Coastal Carolina beat Charleston Southern 13-0. What year do you think it is, Coastal? Because that score over that team was last seen as good in 1930. The next 2 struggle wins are not nearly as bad as the ones we've talked about, but I have to point out the sluggishness of Georgia and LSU versus their cupcake opponents. You know, it's a sin to give other SEC teams hope. Finally, the big one this past weekend, Clemson. This team was favored and hyped up so much in the preseason as national champions. So you start off the year by losing to LSU at home 17-10, and then let the future national champions, the Troy frickin' Trojans, go up 16-0 at you at home. And honestly, it wasn't even close. The only thing that kept Clemson in this game was corrupt officiating and acts of God. Shoulder interception, helmet interception, butt interception, things you only see like once a year, and the gods gave you 3. You took the lead back in the second half, but you couldn't stop the Trojan offense really at all. The only thing that kept the Trojans from scoring more was terrible officiating and the quote-unquote botched fake field goal, which, listen, for some context, definitely wasn't a fake. As a Troy Trojan, you get one unexplainable happening a game, and that was it. No need to examine it, think about it. That's just Trojan football, baby. Even with the win, Clemson can't feel good about this. 2 weeks of struggling offense and questionable defense as they head into their conference schedule. Boy, y'all be looking sus as the Troy Trojans just exposed you. Go Trojans! We also had some good underdog winners this past weekend. First off, Bryant beat UMass. I mean, God, has UMass ever won anything? The Minutemen play as their namesake. Long Island beat Eastern Michigan at their gray field. Honestly, the Eagles deserve to lose painting their field that color. Missouri State beat Marshall. Good win for them. That's their first win in their first season in Division I football. Ohio, not the good Ohio, released a Mac attack this past weekend and beat West Virginia. And finally, Army beat Kansas State after losing to Tarleton State in week 1. Good turnaround and just Kansas State. Come on, man. Also, if you missed them, there were some pretty good games like Virginia versus NC State, Vanderbilt versus Virginia Tech, Ole Miss versus Kentucky, and Iowa versus Iowa State, which was decided as everyone expected by a long field goal. Looking at the best cameos in college football games this week, only found one this week, which was the Banana Twins at the Penn State game. But my favorite of the year so far has to be Fred Flintstone, showing up for the week 1 matchup, Miami versus Notre Dame. The jury is still out if that means Fred Flintstone is a Catholic or a convict. Make sure to check the Daily Granite for future updates.
Barney, how can you foul things up like this? Let's go.
The rankings after week 2. We have SMU, Florida, and Arizona State being dropped out in favor of USF, Missouri, and Auburn, which I tend to agree with. Also, Tennessee finally is ranked over Alabama. Speaking of the Crimson Tide, I don't think them, Michigan, or Clemson deserve to be ranked. Bama, don't brag about beating ULM 73-0. Your delusion is showing. Alright, looking ahead to week 3 of college ball, we have 3 ranked matchups. Number 6 Georgia at number 15 Tennessee. That's going to be a really good game. Number 18 USF at number 5 Miami. Don't count out the Bulls. They're going to be going for the trifecta of being ranked teams, and also I hate Miami. And number 16 Texas A&M at number 9 Notre Dame. It's going to be a long night for the Aggies. There are some good in-conference ACC and Big 12 matchups to keep an eye on, but the SEC has some really good in-conference games that are in turn trap games. First we have LSU versus Florida, South Carolina versus Dandy Vandy, and Ole Miss versus Arkansas. But also keep Alabama on upset alert versus Wisconsin and Auburn versus South Alabama. I know that may sound crazy, but just ask Mississippi State what happened to them when they underestimated the Jaguars. Don't be shocked by an upset or 2 here. Also, Penn State, really? Facing 3 non-power schools to start the year? You keep playing cupcakes, eventually you're going to look like one. Especially to Ohio State. Finally, we have another chapter in the Nico, I'm not even going to pronounce that last name, Karma Train. This week, the QB of the UCLA Bruins got blown out again, this time to the UNLV Rebels, throwing 1 touchdown and 1 interception, which makes his total for the year 391 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, sitting on an 0-2 record. While his former team, Tennessee, sits at 2-0, ranked number 15 in the country. This week, Nico takes on the New Mexico Lobos in a matchup that will be a lot closer than it should be, thanks to the Karma Train. There you have it, everyone. Another week of college football in the books. Let me know what your thoughts on college football are in the comments below. Thanks for listening to this edition of JABO College Football. I've been your host, Brendan Bryan.